Hey students, I hope you're doing okay. This is a kind of a check-in to let you know what I saw when I marked your papers. And I'm talking about just a couple of simple things. So something that jumps out to me is the fact that Jesus talks about his teachings giving life, and that when Jesus is going to judge us, he's going to judge us based upon what we've done with his words. And that's pretty significant. Um, when I say us, I mean those who, us human beings, because those who belong to him have already been judged. They were judged on the cross. That's a different issue. That's something we'll talk about later. But here, I just want to point out something that is significant, and that is that his words bring life. And everyone who hears his words and does them. So it's very important that we study the Gospels, the Injil. And it's very important that we look at the last commandment that Jesus gave us, which was in Matthew chapter 28, where he says, Go, therefore, into all the world and make disciples of all the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey all that I have commanded you. And we need to see that teaching them to obey all that I commanded you is pretty clear, isn't it? It's not just preaching the gospel and then becoming believers and then going to your next place. And it says teaching them to obey. And then he specifically says, all I've commanded you. So it's not just some basic things, but the whole gospel. And that's interesting as well. And it's important for us to see that our job is not complete until we've done that. And in fact, that's why I'm in Pakistan, because I want to teach people how to study the Bible for themselves and to learn to teach others all that Jesus commanded them. And that really is why we're here in Pakistan. Been in Pakistan for 12 years, and maybe by God's grace, we'll be here for another 8 years. And the reason why we're staying is because, well, our job isn't done. So one little note about the third question in the quiz for Thursday, because almost everybody got it wrong. Not everybody, but maybe most people. But so let me just explain. I asked what are the commands that Jesus gives in this passage, and the commands are go, make disciples, teach, baptizing, and teaching. Go, make disciples, baptizing, teaching. Going is different from making disciples. You can go without making disciples. You can make disciples without going. So it's go, it's the first command. The second command is make disciples. Third command is easy, baptize. Fourth command is pretty easy. I'm teaching them all that I commanded you. And so if you didn't get full credit for it, if you got like a 7, it's because you didn't have the go separate from the into all the nations. I mean, separate from make disciples. Sorry. So you put the go together with the make disciples, but they're not the same thing. Okay. So just so explain that so I don't have to deal with a lot of questions about it. And so you'll understand. Okay. God bless you. Have a great weekend. I hope you are already.